Welcome to an overview of coal. Let's talk about coal. This video will cover some key topics about coal, such as what it is, where it comes from, how it's obtained, our usage of it, and its impact on history. First off, what is coal? Coal is a carbon-rich mineraloid that is formed through the compaction of dead plant matter. Over millions of years, decaying plant matter in swampy environments is subjected to heat and the pressure of new layers building up on top of it. Coal forms in multiple stages, the first being peat, which is a moist and muddy material rather than a true rock. The next stage is lignite, which has a high moisture content and can spontaneously combust under certain conditions. That's why I don't have lignite, because it's probably best not to have that living on the kitchen table. After that, it becomes subbituminous, which is where the coal starts to take on its signature dark color. Next is bituminous, which is known for the heavy black smoke it produces when burned. The last stage is anthracite, which is characterized by its shiny appearance and is considered the highest grade of coal. Where does coal come from? Coal can be found worldwide, but much of it is concentrated in a few countries. And as you can see, some of these have very large deposits. The United States has the largest confirmed coal reserves in the world, with over a fifth of all known coal. It's widely dispersed across the country, but the Appalachian coal region, the interior coal region, and the western coal region hold most of it. The largest coal mine in the world is the North Antelope Rochelle Mine, which is located in Wyoming in the Powder River Basin. However, anthracite in the US is found solely in northeastern Pennsylvania. How is coal obtained? Coal is extracted using two methods, underground mining and surface mining. And I'm just going to leave this up for a second so that we can all look at the chart. It's a really cool chart. And okay, I think that's been enough time. Underground mining, which is the more common method, uses multiple techniques that generally involve cutting through a coal seam and harvesting loose coal. The coal is then transported to the surface to be refined into a purer form by separating other minerals from the coal. Underground mining has many risks associated with it, though. The mines can collapse or flood, or pockets of methane gas can cause explosions. However, there are also risks from simply being in a coal mine for long periods of time. The inhalation of coal dust can lead to an incurable and potentially deadly respiratory disease known colloquially as black lung, which affects approximately 16% of coal workers according to the American Lung Association. Surface mining is done by creating open pit mines, which are large mines with step-like terraces. The top layer above the coal seam is removed, and the seam is excavated by machines. This method is safer for miners and it's less expensive, but it destroys and pollutes large chunks of land, which is harmful to the environment. What is coal used for? Coal has many uses, but its most notable application today is its use as fuel for power plants to generate electricity. Coal power plants burn bituminous, subbituminous, and lignite coal to generate heat, which turns water into steam. This steam has a high enough pressure to drive a turbine, which generates electricity. Coal power plants account for over a third of the world's electricity. Bituminous coal also has a role in steel production, but the coal used must meet certain specifications, such as having a high carbon content without a lot of moisture or impurities. The bituminous coal that meets this criteria is known as metallurgical coal or coking coal. This coal is used in blast furnaces to melt iron ore into a molten metal that can then be converted into steel with other processes. And I highly recommend pausing here to look at this whole chart because there's a lot going on. Anthracite coal is primarily used for residential heating due to its cleaner burning and high heat. Coal is also used for around 90% of the energy used to produce cement, which is a crucial building material around the world. How has coal impacted history? Coal has been part of human life since prehistoric times, finding its place as a useful fuel source as well as a carving material. Lignite carvings from around 4000 BC have been discovered in China, but in 1000 BC it was used to smelt copper, which was the earliest known use of coal in metalworking. Europe's oldest records of coal come from the ancient Greek scientist Theophrastus' treatise on stones. However, the Roman Empire used a significant amount of coal from Britain to produce their bronze, as well as for domestic heating purposes. Britain started using their own coal around 1000 AD, primarily for metalworking. In North America, the Aztecs used coal for ornamental purposes during the 14th and 15th centuries, while Native American tribes used it for fuel for cooking, kilns, and heating. Unfortunately, I couldn't find pictures for this, because unfortunately Google doesn't always have everything, but, well, I tried. The Industrial Revolution kicked off a golden age for coal due to improved mining techniques as well as demand for fuel. It was used to power steam engines, which were one of the most important engineering feats of the time. These engines were used to create steam trains and boats that made travel and transport significantly quicker. Coal also became a popular domestic fuel source and replaced less efficient sources such as wood. The steel industry was forever changed by the Bessemer converter, which used a blast furnace powered by coal. A notable example of how important coal was to steel production is the Bethlehem Steel Company. It was strategically located in Pennsylvania, where there was access to plenty of coal to power the company's steel production. Bethlehem Steel would play a crucial role in the construction of railroads, but also in supplying steel during the wars of the era. Around that time, coal also fueled something besides engines and furnaces: culture. Towns were built around coal mines, which produced jobs for many people. The Appalachian region in particular saw many immigrants coming to the US and becoming coal miners since the industry was flourishing and there was always demand for more workers. However, child labor laws of the time led to many children working in coal mines around the world, where many died or were injured and more suffered permanent lung damage. Some countries have outlawed child labors, but others continue to exploit children in their mines. Coal became a key part of the culture of the time, even influencing pop culture. The coal mining culture inspired the popular song "Coal Miner's Daughter" by Loretta Lynn, who was the daughter of a coal miner in Kentucky and wrote a song detailing her family's lifestyle. Canaries were given the reputation of detectors of poisonous gases due to their role in coal mining, although the practice of using them in mining has since been banned. Coal has also led to various famous disasters, including the Centralia mine fire. Centralia was an ordinary town in Pennsylvania, but its position on top of a massive vein of anthracite coal led to a disaster when a fire started due to trash burning in 1962. The town has been mostly evacuated, with only a few longtime residents remaining, but the fire has continued to spread underground and is expected to burn for years to come. Coal mines also come with the risk of sinkholes, which are caused by the sudden collapse of the hollowed-out underground mines. These sinkholes are particularly dangerous for towns built on coal mines, since homes and roads can suddenly collapse into the ground as it gives out. However, another pressing matter is the issue of mine accidents, which occur around the world to this day. On March 20th, 2024, an explosion occurred in a coal mine in Pakistan and caused a collapse, killing 12 miners. On July 14th, 2024, an earthquake struck a coal mine in Poland, killing one miner, injuring at least 17 others, and leaving 2 missing. Now, this video was made a while back, and I posted it on my Instagram. I'm narrating it and uploading it to YouTube now, so there's been most likely more recent things that have happened since then, but just understand this video was made in 2024. Earthquakes are a major risk for coal mines since the activity of mining can trigger a small earthquake known as a rock burst. Another current issue with coal mining is coal mining itself, as some parts of the world push to switch to cleaner energy sources. This is another chart that I'd probably pause to look at. Coal creates air pollution on a scale greater than any other fossil fuel, which exposes people around the world to toxic substances in the air and directly contributes to lung diseases, including cancer. Some countries have committed to phasing out coal entirely in favor of less harmful energy sources. This is another chart that I would pause to look at. The future of coal will depend largely on how many countries choose between the tried and true method of burning coal for power or striving to reduce negative impacts on the environment we all live in. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next video.